Oh, it's a great day. Got all the parts I need to build a replacement game server. I have a Thermalcake armor case that I've had for 7 years and done many iterations of things in it. This time, the game server I have now is the same case, and I'm just literally building a replacement for that one, and then I'll just put this one in place. But here I have 5 drives, 4 of which will be in a RAID set, and then a hot spare. Then I have 2 Velociraptor for the boot up drive. So, and they're mounted in hot swappable bays, Star Trek hot swappable bays. Each bay has 4 drives in it, and this one here, put it on in here, and this, and then I have 1 bay empty to transport from one drive to the server information I may take off of other systems I want to put on here. Alright, here's a closer look at the case, the 4-drive bay case. Nice aluminum construction. You see your connectors back here and your fans, small little fans there, and then of course your drive bays open like so. Oops, turn around here. Next, let me power this on, make sure I got power on all of them, lights. Yep, everything's going. Also, while I'm at it, I'm changing the fans in it to quieter fans that were in there, and no LEDs on it. This is a drive cage that had the fan mounted for the front. You could put 3 drives in it, but there won't be any drives in it, just a fan. I'm replacing the back 120 millimeter and a 92 millimeter fan in the back. These are Cool Master 120 and Zellman 92 millimeter. There we go. And I just have to get it locked in place there. I have the cover plates that I put on. This is the RAID card that's going to go in there. It's an Intel RAID on a chip card. It has battery backup, which I just mounted on here. Came today. Bring it in and I'll show you. There it is right there. This is the battery, and here are your ports. Your first port and your second port. 4 drives to each port. Okay. Then we have 32 gig of memory, Vengeance memory, 1600. i5 3570K. I'm hoping you can see that. Arctic CPU cooling fan, huge baby. And a Asus P877V LE Plus. It has all the things that I want on it. It has the fan headers for the chassis. It has 3 6 gigabyte ports on it. And this will have the boot drive on it. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'll start putting the mounting hardware for the fan on the board here, and then we'll come back. Let's go over the board a little bit here. There's a fan header here, and CPU header, another fan header, so that covers all the fans that I want to be able to view. 16x slots. The RAID card is going to go in a 16x slot because it's an 8x RAID card. I'm not going to have a graphics card in here, don't need it, just use the onboard. This is going to be a server. You can see it's pretty decent looking board. 32 gig of memory in here. Your 8-pin power for your CPU. USB connectors down here. Two 6 gigabyte ports here and one 6 gigabyte port here. It's a UEFI BIOS on it. I love this BIOS compared to the old one. It's so much easier to work with. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the brackets mounted on here for the CPU fan before I even put the processor in, and get the fan ready to mount on there. And as soon as I put the processor, I'll put the memory in it, I'll put the processor in it, and then we'll mount the fan so we can put it in the machine. So when I get the mounting hardware on there, I'll come back. Did I record it? I didn't record it. Okay. On the back side here, the plate has some a sticky isolator on it that allows you to stick it onto the back so it stays in place. And then you have these spacers and screws and stuff to hold on these mounting plates for the CPU. And I'll do that right now, and then we'll come back. Of course, I'm going to show you the fan. There's a plastic covering on here so this doesn't get exposed, but you can see the pipes directly touch the CPU surface. And here, of course, is the fan, which just clips on. Okay, I'll get that mounting hardware on there, and then we'll come back. Okay. 4 plastic spacers, one on each pole here, and then these 2 plates are on, these mounting plates are on here. You can see that once these plates are on here, you can't get at the processor. So if you had to get at the processor, you have to take off these 2 plates too. That's not a big deal, I guess. Then, of course, the CPU just sits on there like this. We screw them down into the holes. Before I can do that, I gotta clean the surface off and put the thermal grease on there. Then I'm going to mount the 32 gigabyte of memory on there, the Vengeance memory. And then I'll come back and we'll take a look at what it looks like before we stick it into the machine. You got it mounted. A little bit of a problem. These are high profile. Even if they were low profile, this fan shroud would have got hit on it. So what I had to do is I turned it the opposite way and reverse the fan. I'm going to get the same effect and the same cooling. Only thing is I'm going to be drying it across rather than blowing it. It won't make a bit of difference in cooling as long as it's moving air. That's all we care about. Okay, so we got our memory processor and our CPU on here. The next thing to do is put it in the machine. Okay, everything mounted into the system, into the case. This new quieter fan. As you can see, I reversed the direction of this so that I can fit it with this memory with this huge heat sinks on it. This is a SATA RAID card that's in here with the battery backup. It goes into these 4 drive bays with backplanes on it, so they're hot swappable. And there's another one here that has the boot array that goes to here. I'll have a mirrored boot, and then this will be the extra 6 gigabyte transfer drive. So we're pretty much set to go. Power to the CPU, main power. All I need to do now is get a display, and then I'm going to use CentOS 6.4, and hopefully it'll configure everything. Okay, everything is working, all set up and running the way it should be. It's formatting the RAID 5 drive right now. quiet, it's fast, it's going to be a great server.